Hi, how's it going guys? This is Tyler from SNEAKERstyle. Today I have another review for you. I'm going to be doing a full performance review, and right now I'm going to do an unboxing of the Adidas Harden Volume 1.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, so let's get into the unboxing really quick. I'm going to do it this way as compared to usual, where I've opened the box and I've seen the shoes a few times and then started to talk about them. I wanted to give you guys a view of what my first impressions are because I haven't seen these shoes yet, but I got the Imma Be a Star colorway. There's a kind of neat story behind it, and the reason that they are called Imma Be a Star is because when James Harden was a kid, he left his mom a note one day and it said, "Can you wake me up at 7 o'clock and could you leave me a couple dollars? P.S. Keep this note, I'ma be a star." And turns out he's a mega star right now, so looks like that worked out well for him. But anyways, right away, the first thing I see is a gold and black box. It says Harden on the side right here. Has his logo on the top. Says Harden Volume 1 PK on it. Let's see, on the other side, Adidas logo, and then James Harden, and Adidas basketball and everything. But anyways, let's go ahead and check these shoes out and see what they look like. Whew. Okay, so there's more gold than I expected already by just looking at them. The bottom is a metallic gold, and there is like gold intertwined in all the prime knit. So that's pretty neat. I couldn't tell from the pictures what color this kind of like webbing between the prime knit is. Let's see, I'll show you right here. Like, as you can see, all these little gold flakes right here. So these actually are much nicer than I was expecting to get. These look super cool, and the TPU feels solid. There's no scuffs on them. The suede toe feels really nice. This whole upper it seems to be a prime knit mix, maybe, or maybe it's full prime knit, who knows, but the logo is really nice. It like extrudes a little bit. It seems to be metal, golden metal. And then it said online that the way that these are laced, it's supposed to kind of tuck underneath as you tighten it and kind of have a wrap over to the side instead of having a two-piece separated tongue. So, first impressions, these things look like they will be great basketball shoes. I'm really excited to try that out. I'll actually be going to the gym at like 2 a.m. so that I could get an empty gym and get some good videoing in for you guys so that you can see the cutting, how good the traction is and everything. Because apparently this traction, the tread on the bottom here, it was inspired by the Fibonacci sequence, which if you haven't seen, it's like an infinitely expanding circle with bigger boxes the whole way throughout. I'll put a picture up like right here. But anyways, these are supposed to be Fibonacci sequence, I guess, so very random shapes as it seems, because the traditional tread style is a herringbone pattern where it's like a zigzag back and forth. That's kind of been known to be the best, like, most consistent performing tread on the bottom. So I'm pretty excited to see how this works on the court. And just so you guys know, I'm not the best basketball player, so don't expect some like super crazy moves or anything. I am a shoe connoisseur and a shoe person first. I'm an athlete second, I guess, second, third, designer, I don't know. So don't expect any crazy awesome basketball playing, but I will give you guys as good of a review as I can performance-wise. So very excited to check these out on the court. Hope you like the first impressions. We'll see you there. Alright, what's up guys? I'm back from the gym, got some rest, gathered my thoughts, and I'm ready to give this review. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the 5 categories that I'm going to be scoring all my performance reviews on from now on. And so the 5 categories that I'm going to do a point system out of 10 and then have a final overall score that averages all 5 of those scores. The categories are going to be comfort, mobility, support, grip, and quality. So first things first, I want to talk about the fit and the weight of these shoes. These things are heavy. They're about 15 ounces, which is a lot for and that's based off of a size 9. That is a very heavy shoe for a low top. To give some comparisons, Kyrie 1s and Kobe 11s are both about 12 ounces, Crazy Light Boosts are about 13, and Kyrie 2s, which are a mid top, are about 14 and a half. So these are heavier than all of those shoes, and I think it has to do with the suede toe that they use, the TPU, and the sole, as well as the shank plate. Overall, it's a very solid shoe, so it kind of makes sense that they're pretty heavy. They definitely look heavier than Crazy Light Boost, so I kind of expected that. But in terms of fit, the sole itself is about a half size big, so I had room where my toes are, even though I ordered a 14 and I'm about a 14 and a half. That's what I like to consider my true size. So the rest of the fit around the ankle and the top of the foot, all of that is true to size. So if you want to get these specifically for basketball, I would definitely say true to size is the way you want to go. But anyways, let's get into the rest of the review. First category I'm going to do is comfort, and I want to score these things a 7 out of 10. And I do really love the Boost sole. I think that it does a great job with cushioning and everything, so I do like the Boost sole. But the suede toe did this weird crease thing. It kept making a popping sound every time I took a step, and it would crease into my toes and kind of pinch, so that was uncomfortable. And then another part that was kind of uncomfortable about the shoe was the outer side. Since this whole upper is like a one-piece wrap, it starts here, comes around, and then wraps back underneath. That limited the range of motion I have on the outside of my foot, so when I was trying to move laterally and kind of like put my weight on the outside, either outside of my stance, it was really uncomfortable against my ankle. It didn't really allow much movement at all. It prevented like ankle rolling, but it was not a very comfortable feel. That may end up going away with break-in. A lot of basketball shoes take a while to break in, so this is definitely a day one review. I don't know how these work after wearing them for a bunch of different games, but first glance and first look at these, trying to play in them, the comfort that they had was very good, but it also could have been improved a little bit. I think the leather toe might be beneficial for mobility, so that moves us on to the next category. It did prevent a little bit of it prevented a full range of motion on the step. I know a lot of basketball shoes have to be stiff, but that suede toe was pretty uncomfortable, and I felt like I couldn't get a full step in. So mobility, I'm going to give a 6 out of 10. Because I feel like my lateral movement is not as good in these things as other shoes that I've experienced. The Kyrie 2s in specific, I really love the rounded sole that they have. And so another thing beyond the suede toe and the outside of the foot being hard to move in terms of mobility is a really flat toe base, and it's really stiff. It doesn't allow for a lot of bending either way. And so I think they rely a lot on the Boost to allow for movement inside and outside. So that's why I want to give these things a 6 out of 10 in terms of mobility. They are not the most mobile shoes, even though they are a low top. I have had high tops that I feel like performed better on cuts than these things do. So yeah, not great on mobility. But in terms of support, that's the next category. I'm going to give them an 8 out of 10. And that's because the ankle wrap, whatever it takes away from mobility, it definitely added in support. I felt like my ankles were locked in. I felt like I wasn't going to roll my ankles, and I did not roll my ankles. And in all my experience with Boost shoes, they gave me the best impact protection on my knees and my back, because I am a really big dude, so I do have knee pain a lot and back pain and stuff, and so Boost really helps that and relieves it. So an 8 out of 10 I feel like is a pretty fair score for support, because I do prefer high tops for ankle support. But yeah, so I feel like that's a pretty fair score. And then the next category I wanted to discuss was grip, and I feel like this bottom sole may be a gimmick. Like I said, I only got to wear them for a few hours, And also, side note, I want to apologize, didn't get any actual basketball like camera shots in because we weren't allowed to film inside the basketball court. So I got some on foot on a hardwood, but I didn't get to film any of the time I spent playing in these. But when I did play in them, it was a pretty clean floor, so I didn't get any dust accumulation. That seems to be the main judgment on whether grip is good or not. So I can't give this a perfect 10 out of 10, but I will give it a 9 out of 10 because I didn't experience any like hindrance on my grip. I wasn't sliding at all, but I do think that this pattern on the bottom, this Fibonacci sequence, inspired design, I think it's kind of gimmicky. It is mostly flat and makes contact with the ground all over. So if dust accumulates, it will get on the parts that touch the floor. A lot of shoes that have good grip, it relies on having different points of contact, having multiple points of contact, and these things look like they do, but they don't. So yeah, 9 out of 10 for that, just based off of the fact that I only got to wear them for like an hour of playing. But the best part about this shoe is the next category, and that is quality. I do love how these are built. The way I judge quality is the build quality, like not having glue stains, the material is not scuffed, it's all put together in line, and then the materials used. So I did love the suede toe accent as a looks thing. I didn't like it in terms of performance. I would have preferred a leather toe for that because I feel like leather has more flexibility. But the prime knit having black and gold, I really liked that they had the subtle gold accents in there, because far away it just seems like a shiny black. So I feel like they used just enough gold with the black, and they used the brightest amount of gold on the bottom, which I liked a lot. You don't see it too much when you're stepping, but when you do see it, it shines a lot. And then the gold stripes around the back and the gold lace tips. I think the shoe is very well thought out, and it's a beautiful looking shoe, and the build quality of this pair in particular, it was amazing. So I did give quality a 10 out of 10. Compared to many other basketball shoes I've gotten in the past, these are one of the best built ones that I have ever had. So 10 out of 10, great build. And if you want these as casual shoes, I wouldn't avoid them at all. But in terms of basketball shoes, I think you could get better. These aren't reselling for too much right now. They're going for about $180 to about $250, give or take, depending on what size you want. So if you want to get this pair in particular, I wouldn't recommend them for basketball. I'd recommend them more for casual use. But overall, this shoe gets an 8.0 out of 10. That is the average score combined. So that's a pretty solid score. Not a bad score, not a great score. I've had better basketball shoes and I have had worse. So overall, I do like these, and I would wear them as a lifestyle casual shoe, but not much more for basketball. I gotta try out the leather ones to see how those ones differ. But hopefully you liked this review. Hopefully it was helpful to you guys. I am by no means a professional basketball player, so take everything that I say with a grain of salt. I try to be super accurate with everything that I say and the information that I put out. So I try to do my research and get as best a review out as I can for you guys. But I just want you guys to understand that I am not the best basketball player on the planet, so you're not going to see some crazy moves, but I will try to give you the best shoe knowledge that you could possibly get. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will have more custom videos out. I will have performance reviews. If you have any suggestions on shoes or things you want me to do in upcoming videos, comment below. Otherwise, I will see you guys at the next review. I plan on doing more performance reviews, like I said. So thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe if you feel like it. Talk to you guys later.